Nicola Sturgeon could destroy SNP's lead with ludicrous £2.5 billion 4-day week plan. Nicola Sturgeon has been warned the SNP's huge lead in Scotland could be at risk during next year's Scottish election over plans to introduce a 4-day working week. The SNP's plan could blow a huge £2.5 billion hole in the country's economy, the Scottish Conservative Party have warned. Last month at the SNP conference, party members voted overwhelmingly in favour of a 4-day working week by a margin of 1,136 votes to 70, calling on the Scottish Government to launch a review of working practices in Scotland, including the possibility of a 4-day week. But employment law is still controlled by Westminster, meaning any policy aimed at reducing working hours could only be introduced if the SNP is successful in a second referendum on Scottish independence. The Scottish Conservatives have branded the SNP proposal absolutely ludicrous and claimed it would cost the public sector at least £2.5 billion to implement. The party claimed delivering the plan would cost the NHS an extra £1.5 billion, the education system a £430 million, the police an extra £431 million, the fire service an extra £108 million and the prison service an extra £43 million, all before cutting staff salaries or public services. The SNP currently occupies 61 of the 129 seats available in Holyrood, with the Scottish Conservatives and Scottish Labour trailing behind on 30 and 23 seats respectively. A recent survey from Savanta.com.res, which quizzed 1,013 Scottish adults aged 16 plus online from December 11 to 15, revealed 55% vote share for the SNP, with the Conservatives a distant second on 20% and Labour on 16%. But Shadow Cabinet Secretary for the Economy, Fair Work and Culture Maurice Golden warned the reckless economic policy could come back to bite the SNP at the next election. He told Express.co.uk, the SNP are showing the true colours on reckless economic policy could come back to bite them at the next election. The plan would cost £2.5 billion straight off, but that's before you get into the issues of recruiting extra police, teachers, doctors and nurses to cope with reduced work practices and all the costs associated with that. This is a cavalier approach from an SNP government that doesn't understand basic economics. The economic impact on Scotland would be massive because there would need to be cuts elsewhere or indeed cuts to frontline services. That is something we can't cope with at the moment, and particularly the pressure on the NHS to reduce working practices at a time when we are attempting to roll out a vaccine. To the man or woman on the street, that would seem absolutely outrageous. Mr. Golden added, if voters are informed about the potential of hurting the NHS and frontline services, they would be outraged by such a radical increase in costs and the knock-on impact on services and jobs.